Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. So, it's Thursday, which means Europa League. No, we're not going to be talking about that today. Now, forget that. I reckon Manchester United will get through against Barcelona. That's my own personal take. We'll see. I do think they're going to be stronger, especially at Old Trafford. It's going to be one hell of a game, so make sure you do catch that. And we'll see who makes it through. Anyway, we're going to talk Chelsea. And before we do, don't forget, hit the Twitter and Instagram links are in the description. Make sure you're following me on those. Don't forget to catch yesterday's videos. You did get a double upload yesterday. Technically a triple, because I was on George Benson's channel, so do check out that video, as well as him being here on Younes Talks Football, so make sure you catch those if you haven't already. Let's get into the latest. What's the latest at Chelsea? So the timeline was we lost to Southampton, and then we had Sunday off, which is normal. The day after a game, the players get it off. And then we had Monday off, which was weird, but why we had that off? An extra day off, right? And then they trained on Tuesday, right? And then it was yesterday, Wednesday. They did train yesterday. And then today, did they train? Well, okay, here's the latest. Check this out. There's no full team training session today either. Potter is mindful of the injury crisis and overloading players. Now, what I don't understand is we rested how many players during the Southampton game for that purpose itself, for the fact that we didn't want to overload. We wanted to provide more time for these players to recover, to rest, having played games before Southampton, and not play against Southampton. That way, they have an entire week after the Southampton game where they're just training and that's it. But now they're being deprived of training because we're worried about overloading. I mean, it doesn't necessarily look like we are overloading the players in training anyway. If we're having to base on the fact of how we perform during a match, the intensity, the urgency, there is none. There is none. There's no intensity. There's no urgency. We don't press aggressively. We don't move to close the gaps quick enough. We don't do any extreme physical activity during a game to show me that we are doing that in training, and then we're doing it in a game, and we're doing it in the space of every 3 days, and we're exhausted, right? If that was the case, fair enough. It doesn't even look like, let alone the fact the calendar doesn't exactly tire us out completely, but it doesn't even look like when we play that we're being ultra physical. So the fact that now we're going to have to even abandon training sessions, now it does say, and I have to quote, there's no full team training, right? So I'm guessing that there is some sort of light training maybe going on in the gym, right? Is that going to win you football matches though? Let's have it right now. No, it's not. We need to be able to execute new ideas, new plans, and work on it in the training ground to get ready for Tottenham. We're playing Tottenham here. I don't know. I don't want to make it look like I made Southampton look small, but when I was saying, we got to play Southampton, surely we're picking up 3 points. I mean, it was Southampton, and they beat us. They beat us. So I would like to think that right now, if there are any players that are of concern, cool, don't put them in full team training, but the rest of the team needs to train hard. They have to. We can't be relaxing for the sake of relaxing. This is where form dips even further. Some people are looking at this and going, no, you know what? It's a good thing that there's no full team training today because we train anyway and we can't get results. I can't believe that's now actually become an excuse. Like we're actually debating now whether not training is going to get us a result. Like some people are convinced that not training hard is going to get us a result. What planet are we living on here? What planet? What? My own personal philosophy, right? Whether you take this or not, up to you. But I truly think that when things are not going your way, you work extra hard. You push yourself even more. Now, if you do have an injury, of course you have an injury, but that doesn't apply to the entire squad. We don't have 25 injured lads. We got lads that you have to be a little bit cautious about. When you're looking at Reece James, you're looking at Thiago Silva in his age maybe. Fair enough. But the rest, I'm sorry, no. The rest, get back in there. You are all okay, right? Kovacic has come back. Zakaria has been on the bench available for a few games now. We've not used him. The fact that we're having to use this excuse constantly of, oh no, but there seems to be a little bit of hesitancy. Is that coming from the medical team? Is that coming from Potter? Regardless, I find it ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The form against Southampton showed us that we need to double down on our training. We need to double down on the effort. There needs to be no days off as far as I'm concerned, because this needs to drill in. We need some sort of urgency right now. We don't need to try and just, hey, everyone calm down. Don't worry, it's going to be okay. We don't need that. We've had that for quite some time and the results are not coming in. We need to be able to have a time when we go, no, you know what? This has gone way too far. There's no day off this week, right? You're coming in, you're going to prove yourself, and then I will reward you. You will get your reward if you go and get what you need to get done. Simple. That's how I see it. That's my own way of seeing it. My own opinion. Some people may disagree with that. Cool. No problem. Technically, I don't believe there's a right or wrong because it can shift either way. You know, there is a chance. It'd be foolish to say that there isn't a chance. There is a chance that if we were to tell everyone, all right, calm down, look, it's going to be okay, relax, yeah, maybe some players would react better. It's a possibility. You can't say that's not a possibility. I don't believe that's going to be the case, though. My own opinion. I don't believe that's going to be the case. I don't see it. Because right now, I see everyone as too relaxed. I see everyone as too chilled. I see everyone as too nonchalant. The warm-up to the Southampton game told you everything you need to know. Right now, all you have to do is look at the body language. Just look at the body language of everybody. In any sort of footage that you get, or you watch a game, or you see a warm-up, or you see training, or whatever, look at the body language. It screams, I'm very, very relaxed. If I relax any further, I'm going to turn into Homer Simpson. That's how relaxed it is right now. We can't be having that. So the fact that I heard that there's no full team training today, it just makes me worried. It makes me worried. I'm just thinking, bloody hell, we're not going to be prepared for Sunday. We're not going to be prepared. And, you know, Matisse put this very, very eloquently when he was talking on London Carnage. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was London Carnage on his channel. When it came out that Graham Potter, after the Southampton game, turned around and said that Southampton prepared very well. Even though they have no manager, they have this caretaker manager, but they prepared very well. That same caretaker manager came out after the game and said we didn't have time to prepare for tactics. We didn't have time to talk tactics. Anyway, the team didn't have full training today, so let me know in the comments if that worries you or if you think that's a good thing. Let me know, I'd love to hear it. Let's get more into the nitty-gritty on what has gone down in amongst the squad, Graham Potter and whatnot, because there has been news today from Simon Johnson and Liam Toomey saying Graham Potter is not personally disliked by any of his players. There are, however, some doubts over whether longer term he is capable of tactically competing with Pep Guardiola and Jurgen Klopp as Tuchel did. Jorginho's deadline day departure caused some dressing room consternation, a feeling of strong annoyance and anger, usually because of something bad that you cannot change or that is completely unexpected. That was via The Athletic. I find that last bit a little bit weird, to be honest. Like, okay, I mean, maybe he had good relationships with some of the players. Maybe they were close friends. You don't want to see your friend leave. I get it, right? On that level, I get it. But you're at a football club where things can happen very quickly. You just know this. Not just at the elite level. This happens all over the place. When there's a transfer window, anything can happen. One moment a player's there, the next moment he's playing at another team and he's starting. Transfers can happen very quick, especially on deadline day. Jorginho was an example. So for that last point, I don't really think that's much of an issue, unless if some players just lack that personal relationship that they had with Jorginho, which I guess is fair enough. But Graham Potter not being disliked by any of the players, I'm not surprised. You have to differentiate here. People are putting everything under one umbrella, and I don't think that's the case, right? Graham Potter's not a bad person. We've got to clarify this. He is a nice guy. He is a genuinely nice person. Much like Gareth Southgate is a very nice person. We know this. And when I was at training, Graham Potter was very nice, very polite, very, very amicable, nothing wrong on that aspect. You can tell that he's a genuine bloke, right? Fair. But that doesn't mean that's not going to define what you bring as a manager. It's just not. That's got nothing to do with what you bring to the table as a manager. You could be the nicest guy in the world. You could be a horrific manager. You could be a horrible person, but you've got tactics and ways of management that no one's thought of, and your brainwaves are on some next level. You play not 5D, you play 60 chess, right? In your head. Your man management, your tactical management, your all sorts of management are so far beyond what anyone has seen, but you are a horrific person, right? It can happen. It can happen. Maybe you blow up at the smallest thing. Maybe you start punching walls and everyone gets scared of you. Maybe, who knows, right? It can happen. But you might be so brainy, it's ridiculous. It's possible. We have to differentiate those. Graham Potter, nice guy. Not a bad guy. No one's saying that. I don't think anyone should say that because he is a nice person. But we don't need nice. We need an elite manager. And I think what Simon Johnson and Liam Toomey have said here is absolutely spot on. There's some doubts as to whether longer term he is capable of tactically competing with the likes of Pep and Klopp and whatnot, like Tuchel was able to. We already know he's not. I know he's not. I think many people know he's not. And that's just the truth. That's just how I see it as the truth. That's my truth. Right now, he's shown nothing to prove that he has something to bring, especially right now where the circumstances of excuses are starting to minimize. Right now, he has no reason to not even at least get some sort of bat out of this team. You know, at least for us to be able to turn around and say, yeah, we played well today. Happy. Very happy, at least. Even if it finished a draw, at least. No, there's been nothing. So, there's that. Let's keep reading because there's more coming from this entire report. One source close to a senior player. From what I hear or gather, I don't get the impression Potter is saying that much to the players. He doesn't strike me as a personable character that says a lot. Now, that's apparently a source close to a senior player. Now, I can't say I'm surprised. This is what many fans have been saying we've noticed as well. That's the problem. The whole problem, I think, stems from there. It's managers can be quiet. Managers can, not have to blow up and not have to throw their arms in the air and go, and go off on a madness. No one's asking for that just for the sake of that. But the managers that are able to operate on that level are managers that have already gained respect and have already gained things in the game for them to not have to get to that level. People complain about managers that used to be all animated and then they calm down eventually. Why is that? Because they've already gone and got their badges. They've already done what they've had to do at that level when they were younger, when they were a little bit more flamboyant. Ancelotti's a prime example. I always use him as an example because he's so quiet. But go and look at him 20 years ago. Go and see if he was as quiet as he is now. He wasn't. I'll tell you that now. Jose's calmed down. Let's be real. I mean, yeah, he still, gives the odd soundbite here and there. But compared to prime Jose 2004, 5, 6 and all them lot up until 2010, he was running down touchlines and running more miles than Usain Bolt. Go and look at him now. Is he doing the same? No, he's calmed down. It comes with maturity, I guess. It just comes. But you have to be able to earn that. You can't just walk in a job and manage big egos and think, I'm just going to walk in there and you're going to respect me straight away. You're going to do exactly as I say and I don't have to say anything. That's not how it works. At Brighton, that's how it works because there's no ego. At Chelsea and at an elite club, there's ego. You're going to have to manage that. You're going to have to put yourself superior. You're going to have to put yourself into a position where the players can look up at you, not look down at you. And I feel like there are players looking down at Potter. Even though they get on with him, this is why we go back to the first point of it doesn't mean he's a bad guy. You can be a nice guy. You can get along person to person, man to man, human to human. Yeah, how you doing, mate? You good? Yeah, all good. Nice one. All right. But on a professional level, I don't think he knows what he's talking about. They can have that opinion. And maybe they keep it within themselves because when it comes to talking face to face, maybe they are just, very nice to each other. So this is where I feel like Potter needs to impose himself. He needs to show signs of, I have control, I have authority. And I've been saying this since flipping December, since just pre-World Cup up until now. I've been saying I want to see some sort of sign to show that he is in charge. He's got the players under control. He says something, they execute it. They're not executing anything, which leads me to believe he's not got what it takes to operate at this level. It's just it. It's just it. And the results are proof. The results are the proof in the pudding. They are exactly what tells you how we are operating right now. What level are we on? On a very bad level. So it is what it is. That's definitely something. Now, there's more. There's a genuine concern among some that many of the English contingent will be sold in the summer to balance the books. We already know this because of FFP. And it means that having to get rid of some of the players that have come through our academy are the English lot, let's be honest, which means that we get just profit from all of them. Mason Mount is going to be the number one there because he's the one that's going to bring in the most, and there's a contract situation that's not been resolved, so we've got to look at it from that perspective. There's more in terms of the Athletic that are saying the loss of Antonio Rudiger's strong personality has been felt in some quarters, and it is thought he would not let standards deteriorate as badly as they have. Not everyone in the Chelsea squad are convinced the new signings are all up to Chelsea standard. And Carl Macaulay's data analysis concluded David Fofana is superior to Aubameyang in the most important metric. And see, this is where I don't, maybe that's true. I don't like to look into data metrics way too much. I mean, that's because you start digging into detail that sometimes just doesn't appear on the pitch. You have to be able to bring the human aspect. Something like experience can't be measured by data. Something like being able to know what to do in a certain situation cannot be measured by data. That comes with instinct, that comes with human emotion, that comes with experience. Aubameyang is definitely more experienced than David Fofana, let's have it right. But in terms of just straight attribute, I can see where the data is coming from. But my God, David Fofana's got tons of time and he's got tons to prove. Aubameyang is already reaching the end of his career, let's have it right. So can't really compare, and if anyone does deserve an opportunity right now, it's Aubameyang. So is there going to be data to show that Aubameyang can't play on Sunday? I mean, this is why you can't look at data 100%. But the previous point about there's some Chelsea players that some in the Chelsea squad are not convinced that the new signings are up to Chelsea standards. Apart from Mudryk right now, there's even an excuse for Mudryk because he hadn't played since November. Although I think now is the time where we need to start seeing something from him. So I'm going to put just a question mark on Mudryk and we'll wait and see. But the rest, I'm sorry, the whole team's been playing bad. But if there's anyone that's been at least a little bit standout, it's the new lads. Enzo been playing well. Even against Southampton, wasn't a disaster, if I'm being completely honest. It was the team collectively, and there were aspects where we let things go open, and I think mentally everyone's been shot. Felix has had great impact so far. Against Southampton was the one time where we went blank. Why? Because he was dominated in terms of numbers. Southampton managed to bulk up that midfield and start sending the ball constantly to the wing. They forced us to go all the time to the flanks without a Reece James to take advantage of that situation. So there's that. Tactics came into play. Felix has been fantastic so far. Madueke has been very direct, has had good impact, has been bright. He's been bright, a lot brighter than any of our attackers have been prior to getting these players through the transfer window. All these players that have come in have been standout. If anything, if we're having to say standout, because we still lost and dropped points all over the board. But if there's anyone that you can look at and go, no, you actually done something, at least, it's the new lads. So I don't get where this is coming from. Do I sense a bit of jealousy? Do I sense a bit of competition? Do I sense a little bit of uncertainty in some of these guys that are not able to step up? Maybe. And to wrap it, let's get into this point. This is going to be an interesting one. Todd Boehly is splashing out on a luxury chill-out room as Chelsea battle on the pitch crisis. The new players' lounge will include soft furnishings and possibly video games. Designers are also decorating walls with motivational phrases. Continued here, Graham Potter wants players to feel happier and more relaxed when they come into training. Now, I want to say, this plan was a plan that had started before the World Cup. So before we ended up in this horrific run of form, this was already discussed, it was already a plan, and it had already started to be implemented. So we have to differentiate, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that think this has been decided right now after we've lost to Southampton. That's not the case. It was before the World Cup. But as much as I do understand, in any organisation, you'd like a zone, for example, a place where your employees or your workers, or in this case, your players can go and just relax, right, and be chilled. Right now, with the way that we're playing, I hope all of this is on hold. I hope it's all on hold. Because as much as I agree in terms of a working culture, it's nice to have places for people to relax and for people to feel at ease and whatnot. Motivation comes from seeing exactly where you need to be, seeing exactly where you need to go, and executing it. And motivation goes up and down. You can't stay constantly motivated. It doesn't exist. You have to have discipline. You have to have... There's going to be days where you're not up for it. And that goes for the players as well. There's going to be times where they're just not going to be up for it. But discipline kicks in. We've never had a discipline or motivation problem or whatnot. When you look at the teams that have been successful at Chelsea, did they ever have issues? No, they didn't. They just went and got the job done. And this is where I think you just need ruthlessness. I feel like there's a level of softness that's coming into this Chelsea squad, which I've not identified before. And I'm completely against it. We can't be pampering to players. People are going, these players are human beings and whatnot. They've got feelings, they've got emotion. Not everything needs to be based on feeling. Goes back to the point that these players themselves are going to feel motivated at times. And there's going to be times like right now where I'm sure they're not motivated. They're not motivated, and you can blame many reasons for that. Manager being one of them, I personally believe. But this is where you have to look at yourself and go, no, I've got a job to do. I've got a job to do. It's like having to choose whether you get up at 4:30 or 5 a.m. in the morning. You don't have to, but you do it. Why? Discipline. You just do it. You're like, no, I'm going to. And then you do. And then you take yourself to the gym. I don't feel like going to the gym. You take yourself to the gym. You don't feel like doing extra work. I'm going to go and do extra work. You do these things to push yourself. That's what gets you success. You don't do that, you won't be successful. I don't want us to turn into, as much as I understand the whole concept of a, relaxing environment and whatnot, I don't want the culture to turn into one where we're just pampering. These guys get paid a lot of money, trust me. They should know exactly what their roles are and what they have to do. They should. And the culture at Chelsea should be winning at all costs. It should be. That's what it's always been. That's what it always should be. Motivational phrases on the wall are not exactly going to be doing that. Trust me. It's like, have you ever gone into your Pure Gym? If you go to Pure Gym or you go to any gym or whatever gym you go to, have you ever gone in and you've read believe and be better and get stronger? Do you always look at that and go, oh yeah, no, you know what? Yeah, I've got to get stronger now. Like, no, it just doesn't. It just doesn't hit. You push yourself. Winning and success breeds motivation. When you're happy, it's when you're doing well. The aim is to get the players to start doing well, to actually start grafting and to actually push themselves to the point where they actually break through a barrier, they achieve something, and then let's go for more. Let's go for more. Let's go for more. And you keep pushing, and that breeds motivation. Success breeds motivation. Motivation breeds success. It's just, I honestly think, as much as I understand the whole concept of what Todd Bowley's trying to do here, even Graham Potter, in terms of trying to get everyone to relax, but right now, this should be put on hold. Now's not the time. The last thing we need to do is relax. Just saying. Because, as I've said, the body language looks off. The lack of intensity, the lack of urgency, the lack of aggressiveness during a game, the lack of energy. There's a lack of everything going into each game that we see right now. And Spurs is going to tell us a lot. This Sunday, it's going to tell us a lot. It's going to tell us if the players are really up for it. It's going to tell us if Graham Potter actually has a solution, if he's actually going to be able to motivate these lads, if he's actually going to be able to get these lads to perform, at least on a physical level. It's going to tell us what the answer is to Southampton. Because you cannot get more motivated for a match like Spurs away. You can't. You just can't. Or Spurs at home for that matter. You just can't. As a Chelsea player, you can't. So let's wait and see what the response will be. Let's wait and see. But let me know down below your thoughts on everything that I have reported today to you guys. And let's see what happens with Manchester United Barcelona tonight. That's going to be interesting. And then it's going to be the build up to Sunday. So tomorrow I will see all of you then. And then Saturday you're going to be getting a preview to that Spurs Chelsea D-Day game on Sunday. So I will see all of you tomorrow for a brand new one. Thank you very much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, people. See you then. Take care and peace.